Welcome to Will It Fun? Mothership. So we are joined by an intrepid crew of 4 wonderful individuals. Wonderful is subjective in its term, but 4
Don't hate.
individuals who are crewing this ship, and we're about to play Mothership. This is a scenario of my own design, which may or may not be good. We will see how it goes, but most of all, we're gonna try to have some fun and hopefully survive.
Yeah, fun.
Maybe.
That's the goal.
All right, so before we get into it, just a couple of ground rules. We are just going to roll into this with as much direction as possible. Y'all are going to go for stuff, and I'm going to respond. None of this is going to be railroady if I can possibly avoid it. There will be a cat. That's very important to note.
House
Hello,
fuzz.
Binks. Thanks for joining us. And let's meet our crew. Would you like to introduce yourself and then your character, please?
Sure. Hi, my name is Ross. I'm playing the android in this particular campaign. And my android's formative years were as a mathematical subroutine in a bank somewhere, so he's a fan of numbers. But once he was upgraded to an android body, he decided to go with the name Pi, because he understands that humans have a positive association with pi. His trinket is an eerie mask, which is one of those big yellow happy faces that he wears all the time because he wants people to be happy. And his badge simply says, "Smile, Big Brother is watching." So he's smiling all the time. Why aren't you smiling?
This is so genuinely
I'm
upsetting.
smiling.
So for
terrified.
those who are new to Mothership, one of the portions of the character creation process is you randomly roll a trinket, which is just an object that you have encountered in your history as an entity, and a patch, which is described in the book as something that your character has chosen to sew by hand to their clothing. So it is something, it's not just like happenstantial, it is a piece of your personality. And I find it just beautiful that both of those things are smiley faces. And it's also horrifying. I mean,
Really
just
creepy.
there's no other way to say that.
But it works.
Genuinely horrifying.
All right, Sarah.
I am Sarah from Thornhill Gaming. I'm playing Lana Weaver. I'm a Marine. And, pretty much all you need to know right out of the gate is I carry around a trilobite fossil for reasons. And my patch is a picture of a claymore mine, and it says front towards enemy.
Logical.
As a Marine, yes, that is the correct
this all
thing.
tracks.
Yeah.
This all makes perfect sense.
I'm curious where you got that fossil. If you live to episode 2, I want to know more.
I am Gabriel Hurley, also from Thornhill Gaming. I am playing Dr. Ambrose. I am a scientist. I specialize in cybernetics and zoology. I have my trinket is a token that says, "Is your morale improving?" And there's a patch sewn to my lab coat with the dead man's hand, the classic aces and eights, all black.
Very nice.
Nice indeed. Does your character have, is Ambrose your first name or your last name or just a mystery?
We'll find out.
Okay, fair enough.
So as far as we know, you're just Dr. Ambrose.
I am Dr. Ambrose.
Okay.
Kathy.
Hello, I am Kathy. I am playing Stella. Nope, I am not playing Stella.
Stella is important. We'll get
Stella is in my notes, but that is not my name. I am playing Kiara Partridge. I am a teamster. My trinket is a journal in which I keep all of my grudges. My patch is a pinup, because, I am also the captain of our freighter, which is called the Blissful Golden Legend.
I love that name.
I really do.
I really love that name. Excellent. A couple of follow-up questions. How thick is your book of grudges?
So I'm going to say it's very thick, but nobody knows yet how many of the pages are filled. Like, I haven't shown it to you guys.
Nice.
So-
Because that could be like 1 page per grudge, and that grudge just lists everything, or it could just be like line, and 80% full.
It could also be like serial killer handwriting where each line is
really
divided
tiny.
really tiny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Itty bitty.
Yeah.
I'm so curious about it.
I want to look through the book.
I feel like, yeah, you know what? Y'all should try.
I'm gonna. And that's the story of how I ended up in the book.
Is it Kira or Kiara?
Kiara.
Kiara. And is yours Pi with an E?
No.
No, just P-I?
Yeah, he'd come from a numbers background. So.
That
Are
is
you
completely fair.
definitely the person on the ship that doesn't call you Pi? I call you numbers.
I was gonna say, do you introduce
choice.
yourself as pi, or do you introduce yourself as 3.14? Like,
No, humans. I tried that for a while. People got confused.
Okay.
So and they also like their eyes would start to roll back in their head because I kept going on the digits.
That's an amazing
So
superpower.
I would. I've started using pi.
got it.
Just pi.
That's got it. Fantastic. All right, so Kiara, Captain Kiara,
Yes.
tell us about Stella.
Stella was one of our crew who died 5 months ago. Our reactor, I was like, sorry, I was trying to read my handwriting. Our reactor broke, and I sent Stella to fix it, and she died of radiation poisoning. But she died a hero because she saved all of us. So
Yeah.
I
That,
probably should have sent the android to fix it.
Yeah.
But I didn't think of that in the moment. I sent Stella. She's very good at her job. She
Yeah.
was very good at her job.
I could have fixed it.
Pi could have fixed it.
And yet,
It's a choice I made in the moment.
That's fair. That's fair. Captains' worlds are just a very difficult place. Lots of decisions. Anyway, so on with the fun part.
oh, that wasn't the fun part.
That was definitely the fun part for me.
We've already lost somebody, you guys.
This is space. We shouldn't be here.
We still got 4 out of
Poor,
5.
poor Kathy just already has trauma.
That's why she starts with more stress than you.
Yeah.
The numbers are in our favor.
This is true. This is true.
Numbers are never.
So here we are on the planet Iago 9. The Iago 9 planet is in the Iago system, as you may expect, and it is owned by the Inner Mind Corporation. It is known primarily for their scientific research. Not entirely, but primarily. Iago 9 is far from the system's star and it is tidally locked, so the same face always points towards the star. The star is very distant, so it's this tiny, pale, light yellow-white dot in the sky. The planet itself, the surface is very dim. It is very barren. It's covered in a loose gray dust, much like our own moon. It's not quite as low gravity, and there is just somehow the barest hint of atmosphere. You can almost breathe, but not very well, and not for very long before passing out. So just keep that in mind. If you ever go on excursions out into the dust, just probably want to keep the vac suit with you.
And that's important to you humans, right?
To the humans.
Yeah,
Breathing.
air. We kind of need air.
Right.
Breathing is important to us.
Androids,
I'm
however,
working on it.
don't need to deal with that. So, the story opens at Research Station 4. The facility is absolutely gorgeous, surprisingly so. It's got white plastic floors, taller than average ceilings, soft white blue lighting, matte metal walls with inlaid metal detailing, purely for aesthetic purposes, as far as you can tell. The main floor is built...
Not ominous.
We're all going to die. We're all going to die.
Is there any shrubbery?
Yes, but you can't entirely determine whether or not it is real. I'm sorry, it is real, whether it is organic, actually alive. But as somebody who's interested in botany, you may have taken a look into it. We'll get back to that. So the main floor is built in a huge circle, not quite 100 feet across, but quite large. It surrounds the main elevator shaft, which leads down to the research labs. The center elevator column, built with amazing futuristic mag lift technology, there's not a cable in sight, is completely enclosed in tempered polyglass. So the elevator and its occupants are fully visible, and likewise everyone in the outer circle to them.
That's not going to be bad at any point. I'm sure.
Yeah, these details.
I'm just painting the picture.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of this is aesthetic purely, not
It'll be fine.
My first thought was, yeah, somebody's going to die because of that. My second thought was, noted, don't bang in the elevator.
No.
Or do.
Or, I
mean-
mean, maybe if that's your thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's all up to you. All of these decisions are yours. So attached to this main giant ring are 5 spokes, each of them called a wing. Each extend about 100 feet out from the center ring or so, containing a part of the support function of Research 4. The entire facility is raised about 30 feet off of the planet's surface, supported by these enormous white pylons diving deep into the ground. The entire effect is absolutely gorgeous, almost more like a hyper-modern hotel than a research facility. You look around every now and then and be like, wait, why am I here? This is beautiful. I don't understand. So from the front entrance, a huge ramp extends over a wide chasm, nearly directly under the main entrance itself. A half dozen sturdy 6-wheeled cargo vans are parked on the edges of this ramp before it crosses over the chasm, near the closer edge of the facility, or closer to the entrance of the facility. You get the sense that this chasm was not there when the facility was built initially. Most of the evidence for that is that the 5th wing, the one furthest clockwise, nearest the ramp, actually has fallen off and is on the ground itself. Some of the wing is still attached to this circle, but the majority of it is locked, pyloned to the ground, almost supported, attached to the surface where it landed, and is staying there. Not brought back up, just existing on the ground. That doesn't seem like a choice.
Like how far down are we talking?
About 30 feet.
30 feet.
Yeah. So it's just the very corner of it is actually over the chasm itself. So for whatever reason, that's how it is. So your team landed on, your team, Captain, landed on Iago 9 a couple of months ago. You delivered some high-value cargo from Cassio Station. And since the delivery, you haven't been given new orders, so your ship is just parked here, and you've been reassigned as support staff for Research 4. So Marines, you do patrols in surrounding areas, weaponry upkeep. Nothing interesting has happened, and reportedly, nothing ever has. Given the fact that this entire solar system is owned by the Innermind Corporation, that's not terribly surprising, but it does sort of lend you to a little wistfulness, a little curiosity, perhaps a little boredom. Teamsters, you, even though you are a captain, you do repairs, maintenance, and deliveries between facilities. However, you've only ever been inside Research 4. You have only been to the doors of the other facilities, and that's where you've been stopped from going forward.
Oh, okay.
Androids, you deliver samples and equipments to the science team in the research labs underground, and you routinely have your memories erased for confidentiality reasons.
Interesting.
That's
But I don't
not
remember
ominous.
What?
I don't remember that.
Remember what? Scientists, Dr. Ambrose, you do surprisingly uninteresting work here. You prepare samples, you assemble equipment, you calibrate instruments, and it's generally hard to piece together what the nature of the research is that this station is, or this facility is dedicated towards, but you can tell that it's important enough for you to know as little as possible.
My talents are being wasted.
Yes, on a daily basis. So what you do note is that some of the more common instruments that you are addressing are biological research sensors and some cybernetic tooling. It's not entirely clear, being a cyberneticist yourself, like, okay, these seem general, but they're incomplete. So you will assemble something to, say, 60%, 75% completion, and then hand it off to whomever's next.
Okay.
You only know that because you are yourself a cybernetic researcher.
Indeed.
Excellent choice, by the way, you jackass. So, Captain Kiara, you, as the captain, you have certain privileges.
Excellent.
Your quarters are a full meter longer and wider than the standard crew quarters.
Nice.
The bed is just a little bit bigger, too. You have a terminal in your quarters, a dedicated one to yourself. It's not secure. It's not private. You can never be certain that anything here is private, but it is yours.
Okay.
And your PDA, please add to your equipment, Captain's PDA, allows access to certain menus on that terminal and other terminals that it may connect to. So you can submit disciplinary reports if you feel like that's necessary.
Okay.
And you can also receive communications from corporate. There's one thing to note about internal communications. All of you have interminable comms, internal comms, sort of attached to you either by like an earpiece or just in your brain, for example, Android.
Sure.
Mine is also in my brain.
That's something that we could discuss. But these things are always kind of on for your local channel. Okay. So, for example, this is something as a Marine, you, Sarah, would know. You, Lana, would know. The comms are generally on at a very low volume, so you can hear if someone is, say, screaming or being shot at. Then if you engage your comms, then you are brought up to full volume for everybody on your comms channel to hear. So if you're having a conversation and you intend it to be private, please let me know that you turn off your comms.
Got it.
So you find yourself today, day being what it is, in a bit of an unusual situation. So Ross, Gabriel, you have been off shift.
Dr. Ambrose.
Dr. Ambrose, excuse me, I'm sorry. Pi, Dr. Ambrose, both of you have been off shift for about half an hour. And you've decided to go to the bar because, hey, why the heck not? And you've decided to join him. And the bar's name is Pete's Sake. And it is, it is in the medical/recreational wing. Which I believe that here on this map, let me introduce you to the map while we're at it. So Research 4 is in the center of the map. You'll see a couple of other locations as well. SD in the northwest corner is the supply depot. There's R1, R2, to the northeast and the southeast respectively. Those are other research labs. And then there's Pad 2, and that is where your ship is docked and has been for 2.5, 3 months. It has just been sitting there being sad, being lonely. But periodically, you or the android or whoever you decide to go to goes and checks it out, making sure it's all shipshape, ready to go. Because you could receive a command from corporate at literally any moment, and you would have to go deal with it.
Okay.
Are these all line of sight? Like we can see them from R4?
So that is a great question. So from R4, you might be able to see them in the great distance, but this is not to scale, this particular map. You would have probably, I'd say Pad 2 is about 20 kilometers away, and the other are a little further away than that, so like 30, 35. So it is a decent chunk. Given that this is a low gravity planet, you could still get there relatively quickly at a good clip. So for what it is worth. Now I would like to introduce you to the facility itself.
Okay.
Hello, facility.
New map.
Exciting.
New map!
So shiny.
So you'll see this giant chasm, which my artistic skills have rendered expertly. That is indeed a chasm.
It's lovely.
Isn't it? Thank you.
Stunning.
Beautiful. So each of these wings you can see going clockwise from the ramp are the storage wing, the habitat wing, the medical and recreational wing, the engineering wing, and the security wing. And then there's a big old chunk that's just sort of hanging off there, laying on the ground. Now, the two of you, Pi and Dr. Ambrose are in the medical recreational wing, which is opposite the entryway, and you're hanging out in Pete's sake. Now, you have been tasked to supply Pete's sake with a dolly full of liquids of various types.
Okay.
And as it turns out, I'm sorry, by you, I mean Dr. Kiara. I'm sorry, God,
Captain.
what? Captain Kiara.
Can't
All these
name
damn
this
things.
guy.
Well, I'm just meeting you all for the first time in the last 15 minutes. So,
we'll get to know each other very intimately.
Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it.
So Captain Kiara.
Yes.
You as a teamster, you just get some delivery stuff most of the time. Your job is walking around maintenance and, hey, cool, you get sent to the bar, which is a nice thing. And there's nothing else on your to-do list
Oh, that's good.
except for the dice pickup, which is about to happen.
From the cat knocking
Cat
off the
knocking
Thank you,
table.
Cat. While you are taking things from the from the storage wing, coincidentally, you happen to be passing by, and you have nothing else to do. You've just been let off as well.
Alright.
So, hey, you're being sent to the bar. Why not? All four of you end up at Pete's sake, and this is the first time that you have all, coincidentally, the four of you, been off shift for who knows how long.
Are you telling me we all start in a tavern?
I am indeed telling you that you all start in a tavern.
Excellent.
Welcome back, everybody.
Holy cow.
So,
I guess
Pi,
it's been a little bit.
How many digits of your name do you know?
No, don't ask.
I didn't want
I
to
don't.
recite them. I just want a round figure.
I have been told too many. But that is often the response that I get when people ask for more details.
And I've been told I asked too many questions. Like, for example, do you think that he meant to name this bar Pete's Sake, or was it really Pete's Sake and people just call it Sake?
I really hope it's just Pete's sake. That's ridiculous if it was an accident.
Why is that ridiculous?
It's a
You know,
phrase.
people just like read things and then they don't pay attention. And then they just start calling them something. And then that eventually just becomes the name. And it's really annoying for the people that actively named something.
Also, I just meant the phrase, oh, for Pete's sake. And it's a phrase that people say when they're annoyed or frustrated. Oh, for Pete's sake.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do they say it when they're smiling?
Generally not. Generally not. I have missed you, Pi. That is
Not my favorite phrase then.
I
haven't
scoot
had that.
slightly further away from you.
At this point, two people approach you. You are sitting at a table at this point by kind of off to the side near the entrance of the bar, and you see two people that you are very familiar with. Why don't the three of you, my Marine, my Scientist, and my Teamster, please roll a d5.
Ooh. This is my first time rolling a d5, by the way. I'm very excited.
Oh,
5,
5 out of 5.
4.
3.
3. So the two figures, you absolutely recognize them. You feel like they're familiar somehow. Doctors Trina Abernathy and, oh my, and doctors, sorry, I forgot to write this one down. And that's
Just can't
kind of
name today.
I just can't. I've got like a list of a whole crap ton of names here.
Is oh my like PhD Dr. Trina Abernathy?
No, sadly not.
OMG.
So,
This cat, though.
Dr. Trina Abernathy and Dr. Renee Derringer. And Trina Abernathy is a woman in her mid-ish 30s, very dark skin, curly hair with darkish hair, but it's sort of growing out gray from the center. She has a beautiful smile. You have noticed how entrancing her smile is. Whether or not that's something that you're interested in, that's entirely up to you. But you've noticed that she's a little bit, perhaps, more smiley at you than other people who tend to be in your vicinity.
That was Trina or Renee?
Trina.
Okay.
Renee is a gentleman. Renee is in his 60s. He is extraordinarily tall. He's about 6.5 feet tall. Rail thin, walks with a crutch sort of attached to each arm, not like physically attached, but using a crutch on each arm.
I could fix that for it.
Very thin man, seems wiry and just kind of awkward in his gait. But both of these are very competent scientists, as much as you know. Dr. Renee has sort of long, stringy, grayish white hair, and those are the people you've encountered.
Do I know what their specialties are or what they're working on?
Dr. Renee's specialties are more on the protected side of things, a little on the confidential side. Dr. Renee, you've noticed that she has a well-founded interest in the things that you happen to be working on. So when she's passed through the lab that you work in, she's engaged you in sort of intrigued conversation on the items that you're working with, which happen to be biological and cybernetic. Whether that's just interested conversation or whether that's knowledge sharing, you're not quite certain, but that's what you know.
All right.
Wait, Renee is a...
No, Trina.
Trina.
Oh, got it.
He meant Trina.
Damn it!
Got it. See? You can't name today.
I can't. See, I wrote down one of them and then I forgot to write down the other, and then I'm just like, okay, well, they're both the same person now. So Trina,
Yes.
of the brilliant smile, sort of, they're both walking past you, and Trina walks up behind you to your chair, putting her hand on your chair, but not quite your shoulder. Says, "Oh, Pete's sake. Yes, it is a common phrase, but it isn't something that generally people are very happy to say."
That is unfortunate.
It is
I prefer
unfortunate.
it when people smile.
So do most people most of the time. Most of the time.
Dr. Abernathy, please let me introduce you to the crew of the Blissful Golden Legend. We have our esteemed Captain Kiara over here, our
Nice to meet you.
security officer Lana, our android Pi, and of course we've met before, Dr. Ambrose, if you've forgotten.
No, it was very nice to meet you.
Absolutely.
Again, see you.
Every time.
And meet all of them. Yes.
Each time.
Sorry, what was your name? I forgot already.
I am pie. People like pie.
Yes. Just a mask, always.
Always. Always. I'm Kiara.
And you're the captain
I'm the captain.
of the legend, Blissful Golden.
Blissful Golden Legend. Yes.
Oh, is that at Pad 2?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I've seen that on the manifest. No, it's good to meet you. Yes. And
too.
the Marine
Lana.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. When you have a chance, Dr. Ambrose, I have some wiring issues just outside my quarters. I don't know if you're off, but I'm about to go on shift for at least another 6. After, though, if you're available, I would love to have you look at it, if you wouldn't mind.
Certainly. I mean, I could stop by while you're on shift, and then when you're off, we can simply chat.
Oh, is it looking at me? Hello.
You have a nice smile.
Doesn't she?
Hi. Pie.
At this point, Dr. Renee nudges Trina and says, "We need to get down to 8."
You said your terminal. It was the terminal that needed.
It's some. I'll tell you
No,
after.
all right.
I'll be there in 6 or so.
Very good. I'll meet you there.
Thank you. Okay. Bye.
Nice to meet you, Doctor.
And Renee almost drags her with his elbow, his semi-free elbow, given that he's supporting his legs on crutches.
You know that
Towards
there's not
the-
actually a wiring problem, right?
Well,
I'm
I mean,
aware
it
of no
doesn't mean
maintenance
that I
issues.
couldn't tinker with a few things.
You're gonna
That's what the kids are calling it.
you're
today.
gonna tinker with some things. You're gonna.
It's definitely
Are you
not
not-
wiring.
I can't tell if he's not getting it or if he just refuses to engage.
Yes.
But he's smiling.
Exactly. Thank you, Pi.
Kiara, your PDA beeps.
Oh, I was having so much fun.
It says, this is a corporate message. we require immediate reinvigoration of the power supply at research 4. There has been an error, and it must be immediately rectified.
Okay, it looks like we have a job, you guys, or I do.
So what that generally means is you're parsing through what you know. There is, at the supply depot, that is effectively where they create fuel rod canisters, fill them with this immensely volatile material, and then you bring that back to research 4, research 2, wherever it needs to go,
Got
and
it.
that powers effectively the reactors here.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Supply
Is
run,
that
that's-
something, supply run, yeah. Is that something I feel like I could probably just do by myself?
I mean, you definitely can. You can also bring your crew with you. It's entirely up to you. It's entirely up to all of you.
I
since
want to
you're
bring
all
my
off
crew
shift.
with me.
I'm
but, like,
definitely going to go with you just to get into a different situation.
I mean,
than
it's something different, right?
Yeah.
Do y'all want to come?
If you need me, Captain.
I don't need you, but I mean, you're not going to be rewiring anything for Dr. Trina for another 6 hours, so, kill some time.
It's true. If all of you are going, the rest of the company here is often so boring.
Exactly. Pi?
Do you require my assistance?
Do not require it. Offering you a chance to keep us company.
It's
That
like a
sounds like-
thing humans do where they go places together because
Then
they
I
feel
will-
like it.
I will do this human thing, yes.
It's so upsetting when you say it that way, Numbers.
Thank you. Wait, is that not the appropriate
No,
response?
no, that is not a compliment. Sorry.
Thank you is often a good thing to say.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my god, let's just go.
As you exit the facility, so you head from from Pete's sake, you go and you grab basically keys, quote unquote. Basically, it's a access pass to one of the loading trucks from a Carlos Chen, who is the head of the Teamsters here. Technically, you outrank Carlos, but he's in charge of the facility, so As you get the codes from him, Tabby, who is the security manager, Tabby comes and sort of nudges you on the shoulder like, hey, if you want to shoot some shit later, I am bored as fuck. She's a woman in her 60s, and she's just like this wiry, tiny thing, like this compact creature. But you have seen her get into a physical scrap and hold down a human that is 2 feet taller than she is. She is
my.
Damn.
yeah.
All
That's
right.
awesome.
I probably, seeing as I've had this kind of experience with her, we're probably on a pretty good terms.
Oh, yeah.
So I would just be I absolutely want to go shoot things later.
Yeah, come by security when you're done
Sweet.
with
I'll see you later.
this shit. Yeah, have fun. So, off you pile into the truck. You don't encounter anybody who's your peer at this point. You may later, but not currently. So you pile into the truck, and you are headed towards off the ramp. You bark in the security code to exit the facility.
Okay.
There is a laser gate of sorts that slides down into the ground underneath the ramp, allowing your exit. And then as you drive away, heading to the security depot, you can see it rise up behind you.
Cool. Kind of cool.
As Research 4 fades into the distance, you've got 25-minute drive off into the supply depot. Anything interesting to talk about?
All right, Dr. Ambrose, spill the tea.
About what?
What's you and Dr. Trina? What's going on there?
She has a lovely smile.
She does.
Did you bring
I
tea?
agree.
Apparently, she needs some help with some wiring.
She does not.
She definitely
say
does
that.
not need help with
No,
wiring.
she doesn't. She might break something when you get there.
That is a person that rips wires out of something as you knock on the door.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Because she wants his attention.
To have an
you
excuse
not
for someone to
ask
be
for his
inside
attention?
your house. Yeah, no, but some people are not very direct and need an excuse to get someone into their space.
That's odd.
So,
Well, I'm more than happy to help her with whatever is needed.
like,
Fic-
whatever.
fictional wiring
Indeed.
problems.
Whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
Whatever,
Yeah.
Wiring
whatever.
problems, whether fictional or not. I'm sure I would like to get inside whatever she's got.
Phrasing.
Was there something wrong with this
Well,
phrasing?
that answered my
There's
question.
something entertaining with his phrasing.
As you approach the supply depot, You see the gate lower, the laser gate lower in anticipation of your arrival. As you're traveling, you notice that, and this is not news to you, but the comms channel from R4 sort of fades away, and then as you approach the supply depot, sort of static rises in volume, and you can tell them that you're arriving, and
Okay.
you're here for the stuff.
I will do so.
And you
We're
do.
here for the stuff.
We're here for the stuff.
So,
Ask them if they have any wiring problems.
I don't think they do. I don't think they do.
I'm not interested in fixing anyone's wiring problems right now.
Well, it's not really your specialty, is it?
Is wiring problems a big problem at this facility? We've been here
No.
for
If
If
several
you have
months.
any, I'd be happy to take a look at those as well, Pi.
Thank you.
this
I don't
go
even want to
whole
think
different
too
kind
hard
of
about
thing.
that.
Really,
I really,
I feel like he's just not.
You know, perhaps at some point I could take a look inside your head, in fact.
Is there something
I
wrong with the inside of
actually
my head?
would like to discourage that because our friend here works for the company.
Of course, Captain.
So,
Company
thank
property
you.
and all, certainly.
yes.
So you contact the supply depot, and Emil, whom you're familiar with, gives you the standard code. Like, yep, come on in, come park outside, and we will load you up. Please do not enter.
Okay, we do that.
Yeah. Well,
Just chill, not entering.
so they wheel out two about 4x4x4 crates, effectively. These are large, like plasticine crates, gray, filled with question mark. You don't necessarily know. In this case, you're fairly sure that you do know, but these kind of crates you see all over the facilities are just like, these are the storage things that things go into. They bring them on to the back of your cargo van, and you are left to load them on up.
And back again.
Are they labeled?
No. Their contents are clearly obvious to anybody who's expecting them.
Just checking.
Yeah. You load them on up, head on back. Takes a little bit longer this time since you're sort of on the slower side of things. Since you're well weighted down, but as you approach the facility, you notice something a little unusual. R4 is lit up. All of the lights are on full bright. Usually they're like a nice soft gentleness, but they are just like absolutely blasting. You can see
Okay.
it from much farther away.
I take it
unusual.
back. Maybe there is a wiring problem.
Lana, are you armed? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, always.
Excellent. Let's just approach cautiously. I don't like change after however many months of boring monotony.
I mean, I really do, but I also don't really feel like dealing with a problem. So
That's fair.
Whatever it is,
That's
Captain,
fair.
I had nothing to do with it.
I only believe you because you were with me. And I mostly believe you. That's fine.
Good enough.
So
Yeah.
is change bad?
In this case, I find change suspicious is all. We've had months and months and months of the exact same thing every day.
But
Something drastically different strikes me as a possible problem. It may not be.
okay, numbers. Like, if suddenly your standard operations just changed one day, that probably would be interesting at the least, right?
When you were a financial subroutine, surely you had to do risk analyses and determine the nature
Sure.
of yeah.
The randomness is accounted for, but change is expected.
Indeed. Though we may expect that something might be afoot here, but we should be cautious.
Okay,
Thank you both.
thank you.
Like, why is every light in the house on? Like, that seems not great.
It's just strange. We should be wary.
You pull up to the laser gate, and it has not retracted.
See, that's also weird.
Maybe you should try honking.
Perhaps there's a wiring problem.
Just give him a long look. Lay on the horn. Gee, it didn't do anything.
Did it do anything?
Did nothing, no.
Damn.
You do hear the static of the comms.
Perhaps this is the wiring problem that the other doctor spoke of.
I certainly hope not.
I'll check in.
It'd be very
the comms.
unfortunate if I was outside and this was the problem she needed help with.
Also, she really did indicate that her wiring problem was, in her room. Yeah.
Interesting.
It seems to be spreading.
There is no response.
There's no response. There's no response. There's no response. There's no response. Okay. Let's, Pi,
Yes, Captain.
can you get that door open for me?
I can certainly try.
Let's try hacking it first, please.
Out of
Should we not
curiosity,
try standard access first?
I mean, try standard access, absolutely. Sure.
out of curiosity, does this particular circumstance seem stressful to any of you? I'm going to let this one be voluntary, but
I feel like
me,
this
no.
is more of a nuisance.
Yeah, this is annoying.
very well. Excellent.
I barely registers that it's different from
I feel that most of us are accustomed to corporate bureaucracy and process, and so this is just a thing that is making us wait.
Very
Like
well.
something is going on station-wide that nobody, like some test is happening nobody told us about.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
So yeah, I'll go find the nearest access terminal and see if I can get the bridge to lower or to
Gate to
access
retract.
gate to retract.
Yeah, so there is a numbers terminal. It's basically a pass access code. Is there any particular way that you're approaching this?
So absolutely standard issue first would go to it and just simply try to access code open gate. Like just like do all the normal things first.
It doesn't seem to be doing anything.
Does it like accept the codes but just not work, or does it give me any sort of error codes?
No error codes, just sort of, it's reactive but no response.
Interesting. Are there any other commands that I can try? Like I would basically try all the standard commands first.
Nothing seems to work.
Do I have access to any other things like lights or things in the facility just to see if the console's working? Can I send commands to other things besides
Not from this particular terminal. This
Okay.
particular terminal is only related to
the
gate.
code? Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then, as the captain instructed, the second act would be to attempt further access by hacking into the system.
All right, why don't you roll me a D100?
Boy,
And what is your skill? You've got a hacking, you say.
I do.
Is that intellect?
That is intellect, yes.
Okay, so that's since I'm an expert at hacking, I add 15 to my intellect. Is that
You
right?
add 15 to your intellect and you're trying to roll beneath it. So what is your total score at this point?
68.
Hot damn. That's all right.
What?
Dang.
Why am I making decisions? Jesus.
That's
Because we still trust humans
6.
more than
Six.
machines.
That's true.
Odd
That's
6?
true.
Well, that is absolutely fantastic. So after a few checks into the subroutines, you're able to understand that there is some kind of disconnection that seems benign, but it seems like a data table is missing to reference. But you're able to add something to the data table and then reference that in the data table and lower the gate.
Fantastic.
Excellent. So, yeah, you've got a lowered gate.
And I return to the van. Yeah.
Well done, Pi.
Nicely done,
Thank you.
Pi.
So
you.
what you can see from here is you roll up onto the ramp. From here, you can see into the front door of the facility, and it's just bright. It's blinding, uncomfortably bright. You can't see any movement in there. The way that this is structured, you're looking directly at effectively a loading airlock. And then to the left, there is more of a passenger airlock. So you exited the passenger airlock, making sure that you've got your patch kits and like everything is attached correctly. And then you exit there, as opposed to if you were carrying cargo like you would be doing now, then you would use the carriage airlock.
Got it.
Captain,
Okay.
do you think we should trouble Pi to put that back?
I think that would be a good idea. Yes.
Thank
Seems
you.
polite.
Yeah, let's go with polite. Pi, do you think you could put that back for me? The door?
Can I put it back on?
Easy enough.
Yes. Then yes. Then yes, Captain.
Thank you very much. And then remind me, sorry, where are we taking the stuff?
Oh, you are taking it to my laptop where the cat has...
Decided to exist. He's being
He's
quite
so
a fuzz
helpful.
today.
That is a lovely shot.
That is pretty.
Hey,
Oh
babe.
my gosh, that's amazing.
Buddy. Oh, kitten face.
Anyone listening to the audio-only version, there's an adorable cat sitting right in front of our
will
Warden's
definitely-
face on the camera.
We will definitely take a screen cap of that and put it on our social media.
Yeah,
A
I
screen
think that's
cat
a good idea.
of that.
Oh my god. Fuzzy buddy.
Sir, for deliveries such as this, you would take it into the storage wing, and there is a freight elevator that goes down to the research floor.
Okay.
At that point, then you'd usually hand it off to an android crew, and they would go take it in
Okay.
wherever it needs
Let's
to go.
let's continue to finish our mission.
Are there any other terminals nearby that are not like gate control where I might be able to look and see if there's any station-wide or facility-wide alerts or something to determine why it is in this state?
You could. There is a terminal in the passenger airlock, not in the freight airlock, but there is one there that is connected to the rest of the station.
The next one we pass nearby, I would like to stop and.
Is the communications array that you said is sort of always on when we're in range on?
That's your local array.
Between the four of us.
Okay.
Yeah. So effectively, the way that channels work here in terms of comms is just like you have an endless number of radio channels, radio frequencies, and then you just choose one that you're all on.
And do any of those other channels give me access to systems, updates, status, anything computer-wise?
There's the channel that's attached to the check-in, which is the one that sort of rises in static when you approach. But that one had no response. That's all of you could hear that in the truck as she tried to access that.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what, actually, Doctor? It's going to take us a minute to unload this and deal with it. Why don't you go ahead and check that terminal
Certainly.
while we're doing this?
Let you head on ahead then.
Yeah.
So as they attempt to, or well, not attempt, but generally successfully without
you.
difficulty, but with some tedious labor, remove the large cargo pieces from the back of the cargo van. You head into the passenger airlock or the walking airlock, and there's the terminal. There is an alert beacon pinging as you approach.
I would like to access it and learn about this alert.
Okay, so what you hear is what is essentially an audio recording of a standard alert. You hear the AI voice. You all know this AI as Cartographer. It is the AI that runs the station. You have almost You've almost encountered direct contact with Cartographer, but you've always had sort of a middle operator Theta 19. Operator Theta 19 is effectively the android head honcho, but you don't really interact much with them that you recall.
Good old Android 19.
That
Theta
you
19.
recall.
Operator Theta 19. So you hear the automated voice of Cartographer, presumably, stating that there has been a contaminant spill alert in the research lab in Advanced Labs, and then it is immediately
Where is Advanced Labs?
Advanced Labs. You've never been there,
Okay, so I might presume this is like down the elevator.
right? You can
This is
absolutely
This is not on the map.
right. This is not on the map.
Okay.
Yeah, so all of the labs are below ground.
Yeah.
So you've been in effectively the preparatory labs, the support labs,
Sure.
and advanced labs would be like down that hallway further. My key card doesn't go there.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I've heard of it.
You think you remember having heard of it? Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so contaminant spill in the Advanced Labs.
Yep, contaminant spill in the advanced labs, and then you hear it immediately cut off, and you hear the voice of Renee Derringer saying, "Never mind, that was me. I'm sorry. False alarm. Cancel alarm. Thank you. Click." And
But
then
the
it
alarm
repeats.
is still active.
The alarm ping has not been canceled.
Okay.
So it's like when you read a text
Is
on
there
your
a-
phone, then the text goes away.
Is
No
there a
one-
timestamp on this message?
It's not too long after you left. It's roughly an hour ago.
Okay, it's about an hour old, but it hasn't been cleared in an hour.
Right.
All right. And there are no instructions attached to this.
That's correct. Just contaminant spill and then a verbal attachment like, never mind, it's all good. Click.
Would I, as an employee of this large corporation, which so generously pays my salary and facilitates my research, would I find this to be strange that there is sort of a, like, head scientist just cuts in and says, never mind, and this is not clear, there's no instructions? I assume, like, normal corporate transmissions would end with and do X, Y, and Z.
I mean, this kind of thing does happen occasionally. There
Okay.
are...
This is not unheard of.
It is not unheard of for an alarm to be triggered and then someone to manually discard it.
Okay.
Effectively, what is unsettling is that you can see through the passenger airlock, and there is not a lick of movement anywhere.
Okay.
And clearly, like, though they have disregarded the alarm has not been deactivated.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, if nobody's gone out through the passenger airlock, then like nobody would have
Oh, so
been
it's like
there.
on a per terminal basis.
That's
this would have
correct.
to be dismissed.
Oh,
I see.
okay.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and dismiss it since this seems not completely out of the ordinary on this terminal, and then I will comms up to the rest of my crew. Esteemed comrades of the legend, Golden Legend. I have checked in on the terminal. There's an alert from the cartographer AI indicating that there was a contaminant spill in the advanced labs, wherever that may be. They don't let me down there. However, the alert was dismissed by Dr. Derringer, and in theory all is well, although I don't see anyone moving about beyond the passenger airlock, which seems a bit odd. How are things on your end?
We're almost done here. You don't see anybody?
From where I stand, not a soul.
Okay.
And it's very bright.
Why don't you rejoin us, Doctor? Thank you.
I
Understood.
off comms am just gonna look at Captain over here and just say, when there's an alarm and somebody doesn't turn it off but says everything's fine and then there are no people around, and I just slide my hand to my gun.
Agreed. Let's
What are we agreeing to here?
move forward with caution. We're just going to be,
Shit's getting weird, numbers.
yeah. We're going to be careful going forward.
Being careful is always good.
We're going to be extra. We're going to watch for danger going forward.
Watching for danger is always good.
Yes, I can't.
Just let it. I
know,
found
but
that it's better to
sometimes
just let it go and
I
move
usually
forward.
can't, but sometimes, oh, man.
I just move on.
The outer cargo airlock opens to receive you and your two cargo buoys.
Okay, let's do it. Doctor's back with us, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then
Okay.
we'll go. Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to leave without him.
Oh yeah, you can like all see each other from here. It's just that there's being the airlock in between you and
Oh, I see.
him.
I didn't
you
realize we
wouldn't.
were quite that close, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's all like in a platform. It's basically like
Gotcha.
here's the parking lot and there's the open door.
Okay, great.
Kind of thing.
Great.
All right. See ya. Forward home.
Closes behind you. You hear tsh, air pressurizes, opens in front of you, and you still see nothing.
Is it still really bright?
So bright.
Any weird smells?
Your suit is still on. Would you like to take it off?
Not yet.
Can
No,
we check
not
the
yet.
atmosphere around
Yeah,
us
is
from
there
our suits?
is there a gauge somewhere that would tell us like the state
Yeah.
of things?
Yeah, on the terminal.
I would absolutely go check that.
On the terminal next to you, when it repressurizes, you see like the little green light, bink, and then the door inside to the facility opens, and its light is still green. So the pressure seems to be normal both inside and out.
Yeah, pressure might be normal, but is the air normal?
There is no such signal for that.
Great. I feel like there should be.
I really
a
do,
place
too.
Where they
You
do
see-
chemical research and things like that.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me. Everybody, roll me a d10. Roll over a 7.
Nope.
9.
I got a 1.
7.
I got a 3.
So, Dr. Ambrose, you do notice that there's a bit of a weird sort of grayish dust. It looks almost similar to the dust on the outside of the planet. It's just this gray sort of sheen in parts. It's not fully covering everything, but it's just
So
kind of
it's
there.
settling, not floating in the air.
It is settled.
It
Yes.
is entirely settled.
Yeah. So on the white plasticine surface of the ground,
It's slightly discolored.
it's slightly discolored, almost in like waves, as if something had burst in cloud form and then settled onto the ground.
Do I see any signs of anything that would have caused a like hull breach kind of situation, like that external atmosphere could have gotten in, or I would also be looking for wherever the HVAC, the ventilation system is, to see if that looked amiss in any way.
So you clock the nearest vent, and it is humming, gently shaking, just as you expect it to.
But great. Are the orientation of the waves aligned with the direction that air would move out of that vent?
With a 9, yeah.
Captain,
Yes.
might be advisable to keep our suits on for a moment. There seems to be a bit of dust in the air. Looks like contamination possibly from the outside, perhaps coming from the ventilation system.
When
Noted. Thank you.
when he points that out, do I clock any footsteps anywhere in any of the dust? Like with how pristine the ground is, or all the surfaces are here, being there's
It's-
dust on them.
What did you roll again?
I only rolled a 3, but I was hoping after he points out this whole pattern.
Go
I
ahead and
could
give it
take
again.
look. Just roll a d10.
Yeah.
7.
There are no footsteps. You see, like, there are some small, like, irregularities, like you might see it in dust. It's not completely fluid, but you don't see footsteps, no.
So what this tells me is some failure happened. People were not in here when some failure happened. Likely.
Or right afterward, at least.
Yeah.
Basically, you say, I don't see any footsteps.
Yeah.
Would I know research facility procedures for the event of either an external breach, contamination of some sort, or for particularly the contaminant spill in the labs, what the procedures would be?
So procedures for such events, let's take them one by one. For external breaches, there would be a Teamster rally to seal the external breach. Everybody would be ordered to go into vac suits just to be absolutely certain. You'd see bulkheads close, alarms would blare, and effectively people would be told, hey, make sure you've got oxygen and don't suffocate to death.
So there are no alarms blaring. Do we see bulkheads closed?
No.
Okay.
And no Teamsters,
Not here.
besides me.
Are vac suits missing?
No, there are no vac suits missing. You actually see in the in the walking,
came in.
yeah, where you came in. Well, not where you came in, because you came in through
But
the
in the
cargo
passenger
airlock.
airlock.
In the passenger airlock, there are 6 vac suits
That
there.
seems highly relevant.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for the second one, for a contaminant breach, what would the procedure be?
So for a contaminant breach, the research floor would be locked down.
Okay.
So if it's in advanced labs, you would only ever hear
We wouldn't even
this
know.
particular thing.
Yeah.
And that would be it.
Yeah,
If you were even to hear it.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So at present, none of the standard protocols seem to be in effect.
That's correct.
Great.
Okay,
I would relay that to the group.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry.
And
I would like to change our concern level from, let's be wary to let's just know we might be fucked. How's that? Let's just be extra.
This is
Okay, can we
highly
agree that-
unusual.
Yes.
Can we agree that, just for reference, no, we might be fucked? Can we just say, no, we might just get out of here? Because we do have our own fucking ship. We could just bail.
That seems a bit extreme at the moment.
Well, I'm not saying right now. I think right
Is
now
there a terminal
investigate
nearby?
further. I think in like the coming, depending on the fuckery.
Look for logs.
I think that's a good idea.
I would like
Let's
not to die on this stupid station.
finish our delivery. We have a job. We
Certainly.
are known for completing our jobs, but
So as you're discussing this, Pi, you notice that Pi is going towards one of the terminals and doing some typing. So this terminal also has not been cleared of that alarm.
Okay.
Would you like to clear it?
Absolutely.
Cool. There are no logs.
I'm sorry, there are no logs?
There are no logs.
Sorry, I don't know that
Interesting.
yet.
I would definitely relay that to the team. That's odd. There are no logs. I was my focus would be on finding like the ventilation system, if there's any sort of hitches or resets or anything. But like if there are no logs, there's nothing here.
Yeah, no, there's no reset. There's no record of ventilation errors.
Or even of the alarm,
Perhaps
other
you-
than the notification.
Well,
Perhaps you
the-
have access to the live status if there are no past logs.
Can I access? Like, can it tell me what the current temperature and weather is? And
What do you mean by live status?
Well, I mean, I don't know how deep you're trying to go into the system, but I mean, any control system has sort of a live readout of what's happening with the system as opposed to logs of events that happened in the past.
I see what you're saying. Okay, like is there
Can you
air
access the
pumping?
control
is
panel
there-
as opposed to
Yeah.
the log file?
You can see green across the board. Everything's functioning as it's supposed to.
okay, and including like the atmosphere seems normal. The filtering seems normal.
Yeah.
All the things
Yeah,
seem to be functioning as expected.
yeah.
Okay, I would also pass that information along. It's like there seems to be no problem here.
I would like
Everything
to-
is working normally.
I would like to use my sample collection kit to
Okay.
scrape up a sample of this gray dust.
So a sample collection kit is going to simply collect a sample, but you will need to analyze it elsewhere.
Indeed.
Okay,
No,
but
I'm
yes, you
just-
can absolutely do that.
Seems odd that it's in here, and the scientist in me wants to have the opportunity to understand it later.
Absolutely. You please add gray dust
Sample of gray dust.
Tasty.
That's not going to come back to haunt us later.
Not like other things have.
I'm sure it won't end up inside of anyone.
Well, so far there seems to be no concern, Captain. Everything appears to be operating normally.
Except for the fact that there are no people.
Perhaps they're further
And the
on
alarms
into
are going.
Perhaps they're further into the facility. Shall we proceed?
So let me tell you a little bit about the facility. The facility is large, but it's populated by about 70 people, something along those lines. Generally speaking, it's like mid-shift. So mid-shift, like that Doctors Abernathy and Derringer were just starting their 6-hour, as they mentioned. That's kind of on the later shift, so it's a little less populated. But that means that things generally liven up.
So we would expect to see people around now.
Yeah, when you were at Pete's Sake earlier, it was like,
Sure.
average, not like hopping. People don't get crazy, but it's definitely like, okay, well, there were people there.
And could you just confirm for us where on the map we are, where we entered from currently, and where we're headed?
So the map itself, or I'm sorry, the ramp itself is the sort of southeast corner. That's that large thing bridging the chasm. You've got the
Like
passenger.
there's no compass rose on this.
I am north.
Kai is north.
Guy is north.
Kai is always north.
South. So it's southwest is the right.
Sorry, southwest. Yeah. So on the southwest, that large sort of pallet-looking thing.
Great.
That is
Yeah.
the ramp over the chasm. You
Yep.
parked on the ramp in one of the several parking spots, unloaded the thing, and so that outer ring there, the little straight and narrow thing, that is the passenger
Got
airlock.
it.
So there is a cargo airlock, which I will draw.
It was there the whole time.
It was there the whole time. That's the cargo airlock.
Okay.
And
It's right next to the passenger airlock.
right. It's just
bigger.
there's passenger
But bigger.
airlock for
And less nice.
But the
It's all about as same nice, but one is just like built for large things going. You could fit one of the trucks in the airlock, repressurize, and then drive it on into the facility, and the facility is large enough to support that.
Nice.
Why were we not doing that with all this heavy cargo?
Because the facility, it's like driving a car inside.
Got
You're
it.
just like,
Yeah.
Lots of space in this mall.
It's like in a nice dealership when it's like there's all these cars sitting in there, but like they didn't drive them around because like that would mess up this beautiful dealership.
Right,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like all the floors are really
Yeah, exactly.
nice and
Like,
just it's so
super
pretty.
polished,
Like
yeah.
you don't want to break anything or
Right.
ram into the wall.
Yes.
Not yet.
No, I
So,
gotcha.
so we're bringing the things to the storage area, the first wing.
Yeah, so from going around clockwise, there's the storage area, the habitat wing, and the habitat wing is actually like several wings stacked on top of each other because
going up instead of
High
going around.
rise style.
high-rise
Yeah.
style. So they're like 3 wings stacked on top of each other, then medrec, and then engineering, and then the tiny little security chunk that's left.
Okay, so should we bring the things to storage then? As is our
I
job?
say we continue on with the mission, but I'm not ignoring your point, Lana.
Just saying.
Let's keep that in mind. Again, it's a simple mission. We can just finish it. And if we need to piss off,
Mission
we'll
is a
piss off.
strong word for what this is as I
It's a-
continue moving boxes.
It's a job. But
Yeah, so they're basically like 2 maglift dollies that are just floating with a huge cargo, like 4x4x4 cargo block upon it.
let's go.
For what it's worth, I'm not helping very much.
You don't need
I don't
to.
expect you to. I just really wanted to know more about what was going on with
Certainly. I just
Dr.
wanted to-
Trina.
Just wanted to clarify.
So you're headed to?
To drop off the stuff at the
Okay.
storage.
So you'll notice at the very, very end of the storage wing is a little up-down arrow. That is the freight elevator going down to the research floor. Similar up-down arrow in the center is where like Doctors Trina and Derringer went down. So that's the like, oh, look, we're going down to the research lab. And it can fit a lot of people in there. But for stuff like this, like just take it to freight.
Do we normally have access to that elevator? Do we normally go down it, or do we normally leave things here and somebody else takes it down?
You typically go to freight.
Right. Not that I remember.
No, you remember going to freight. You remember going down. It gets a little fuzzy after you hit the floor. Not like hit the floor. After you hit the floor.
That's after you spent too much time at Pete's sake.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, so you are taking your cargo into
We're gonna do
the
it.
storage zone. So you go to the storage zone. There's no bulk out. It's just like this open wall. You see basically there's a wall down the middle that's between you and sort of like the storage lockers kind of thing, more personal lockers. So you walk about 30 feet towards this additional wall. So it's like an L that you're heading towards.
Okay.
Go to the L, take a right, take a left. Oh, that. So you see a pair of corpses, we can call them.
Whoa.
Are these normally there?
They're not typically there.
Are they?
I
plants?
would imagine not.
I have instantaneously like weaponed up. I am in now like search and shoot like mode.
All right, I'd like all 4 of you to roll a fear check because these corpses have no heads
Oh.
whatsoever.
So remind us how to roll a fear check.
Please roll a fear check using your fear save and roll underneath it with your percentile dice.
But fear saves made by nearby friendly players are at disadvantage,
That is correct.
so they're all at disadvantage.
So everybody, please
great.
roll twice and let me
At disadvantage.
at
Okay.
disadvantage.
Sorry,
But the
you're
first one
a
was
D10.
so
Wow.
Hey, awesome. So I rolled one number off each time. I rolled first a 14 and then a 13.
Oh, nice!
Ooh.
You're fine.
I rolled an 18 and a 24, and my fear save is a 24.
Oh, wow.
You take a point of stress. You have to beat your
You
fear
have to beat
save.
it? Oh,
Yes,
man.
that's amazing though. Well done.
I rolled a 15 and a 13, and my fear is a 24.
Yeah,
Oh
my
my
fear is
God.
a 47.
I
That's
took
a-
luck, sorry.
That is extraordinary. Well done. How'd you do?
I rolled
trying
a
to find the
40 on
D100
my
or
74 fear, so I'm fine. Things
Well,
don't scare me.
hot damn. So, Dr. Ambrose, this definitely stresses you out just a little bit.
Those corpses are not normally there, and I'm pretty sure they usually have heads.
Quiet.
Yeah.
and I am going to start searching the area. Signs of movement.
How
anywhere.
unusual is this?
This is not
Quiet.
where we store the corpses.
Let's screw those bodies. We're just gonna go.
No, we're gonna weekend at Bernie's this shit.
Nice.
They don't even have heads. That's better.
I could wear their skins. It'd be fine.
God.
Please don't. Please, just don't.
Oh my god.
Do I recognize them?
She does, Captain.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Who are they?
So Carlos, whom you were speaking with earlier.
Teamster.
Head Teamster.
Yeah.
Carlos.
Oh, he done decapitated. Yep.
Okay.
Impressive that you recognize him without his head.
I'm
They'll-
guessing
got,
it's
like,
the
the-
patch.
It's
Okay.
the patches, it's
Got
the name tags, like the
That's
general
fair.
build. You can
That's fair.
You're like, okay. Please make me a sanity roll on that one.
Oh. Okay.
Because it is weird to see somebody an hour ago and
Yeah.
they're not here anymore.
Shuffle
What
on
was
down,
that one?
Mortal Coil.
I rolled a. Well, on the I'm not sure how to read that actually. I read on the percentile it's a 60,
That's a
and on
60.
the other one is a 0, so just straight 60.
Just
Okay.
straight
This
60.
is
Yeah.
exactly why I rolled D100s
Yeah.
instead.
It's a lot
There's
cleaner,
always
that's for
at
sure.
every single table there is an argument about how to read the D.
Yeah, I mean to
the
do it like
percentile
this.
dice.
I just. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, so
yeah,
while
my
we're on the
sanity's a
subject,
39.
since we're introducing people to the game, we will talk about percentile. Percentile, as we just discovered, in this game you have to roll beneath your stat or your save in order to be successful. Like that
Not
was
equal to.
not equal to, specifically below. The
So
reason that's
bitter.
mathematically sound is that if you roll double zeros, that is the perfect roll. You cannot roll better than that, and that usually comes with, depending on how the warden plays it, it comes with like a super cool bonus, or some wardens play it in the more intriguing angle where you succeed, but it comes with a bit of a complication. And on the opposite side of that, a 99 automatic failure.
Bad as it gets.
That is as bad as it possibly gets. And then I would play that as in a horrible result. Some of the folks who do things in a little more dancey way would do that. You fail, but there's an interesting, possibly positive twist to that. Not in my game. If you roll a 99, you're fucked. That's
Okay.
bad.
Good to know.
Yes. So
But-
generally speaking, yes, you have to roll beneath your stat or skill, your stat or save, and then with the augment of if you have a relevant skill, you add that to your stat or save. Just your stat, not your save. But if you roll doubles, then that is a critical success or failure.
Oh.
if it is above or below.
Okay.
Exactly. So if you were to roll a 22, for example, instead of a 24, then it would have been a success, but not only a success, but a critical success. Typically speaking, that means you reduce stress. That's sort of an easy way for wardens to do it. Or you get that success and also something cool happens.
Nice.
Which is bad because statistically you're more likely to have a critical failure.
And in all of this discussion, see also the discussion of failing forward in the actual About This Game episode of Will It Fun.
Exactly.
Indeed. So you have failed. Nothing bad happens other than you gain a stress at this point. Oh, and also there are corpses. So you have
not always
just
a bad
had
thing.
a moment
Technically, that
of
was something
like,
bad that already happened.
I mean, yeah, but not to you.
exactly.
Yeah, you're fine
They're not my corpses.
right now. Yeah. So you have a moment of like, wait, I just saw this guy. We just talked.
Yeah.
I know him. He is in charge of all of this Teamster crap, all of this loading, all of this. What is happening? So you do gain a point of stress. You're now at 5.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. I do current, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I go to put like a hand on my scientist friend's shoulder because thank you, you're very far away. To like kind of
Under the mic.
to like unstress, like bring his stress down a little bit, and then I realize I recognize, and I just kind of like freeze.
I go into immediate clear the area, make sure that there is no movement, nothing lurking around any corners. I am straight up in combat training mode.
So what you see from your perspective is you see the L corner where you have turned the corner directly in front of you, sort of around and forward, is where these two bodies are lying. Generally speaking, and you're all familiar with some of the fantastic research that has gone into this facility, and most of Inner Mind facilities, is the porous floor. The porous floor seems very firm and solid, but liquid can pass right through it. There is absolutely no blood anywhere.
Weird. That's really weird.
But no movement, no other beings in here with us.
Not that you
this
can
room
see.
is currently clear.
Just you and these two bodies, and there's another L going left, about 25 feet ahead.
I'm checking
These two
now.
humans no longer seem functional. That seems to be
Yeah,
something
you kind of need
don't
your head
smile about.
quiet.
Correctly observed, Pi.
That is unfortunate.
I want
Hi,
to check around
shush.
the L.
All right.
I'm doing the straight up like take cover around a corner, lean and check.
Perfectly clear.
I'm not necessarily an expert in surgery, but I would like to take a look at the nature of the decapitation and see if this is cleanly done or torn off, if there's any strange discolorations or substances around the wound.
So as far as you can tell, it's not cleanly done, like it's not a scalpel kind of cut. So it is.
This wasn't lasered off.
It wasn't lasered off. It's more of a kind of a ripped texture, but very even.
I will begin searching the area. Kind of see.
What are you searching for?
Sorry, one last question on
Sure,
that.
yeah.
As I actually am trained in zoology, is this consistent with any sort of animal behavior that I would be aware of?
No, not that you're aware of.
Great.
Sorry, what are you looking for?
Their heads seem to be missing. I'm looking for them.
That is very astute. You do not see any heads from your vantage point.
Look in boxes and stuff.
There are no boxes currently, but that's not unusual. They're further back towards the freight elevator. Sort of a staging zone back towards the elevator. That's why the L's are here, is to eclipse just the ugliness of having stacked crates on top. Oh, God. Ugh. Yuck.
I'm going to look over and just say, permission to abandon our current job, Captain.
Yeah, no, I guess. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. We should head back to the ship.
Do we not wish to get paid for this job?
I don't think it will matter if we get paid if we don't survive this.
While I agree with that assessment, I must express a certain curiosity as to the predicament that has befallen the research station here.
Agreed.
And it has always been one of my career goals to proceed down to the research floor.
Oh, you've been to the research floor, but you've only been to the very first room of the research floor. There are several further rooms beyond what you've experienced.
If there is anything to if there's a correlation between the warning that we saw on the terminal and whatever has removed the heads of
Click,
these.
click, 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 click.
What is that?
From behind you.
From behind it. Oh, look.
I will also look.
So you're going back around the
Oh,
L?
I can't see it from where I am now. Oh,
Right,
from
you're
behind is from
in the
L.
L, so
Got
back
it.
towards from where you came. You hear?
I do not want to
I
go back.
absolutely am going to go check this.
I will absolutely walk
I was
around that
I was
corner.
going to also, but if you not the inside corner of the L, but the outside, so that I'm the furthest from the rest of that hallway.
So you can basically peek back around the L to see the
I want to do the opposite of that. I don't want to peek around the little inside corner. I want to be at the back of this hallway.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are taking a position that's further from the L.
They are closer.
Explosives ordnance. I am moving cautiously towards this sound because ticking is never good.
So it's less of a regular ticking. It's more of a tapping.
Yep. Yeah.
Something
okay.
along those lines. That is closer
gun
than
drawn,
a tick.
Gun drawn. I am
Yep.
weapon drawn. I
What
am-
kind of gun do you have
Flare
again?
gun.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh?
What kind of gun do you have again?
I have a smart rifle.
Smart rifle. Oh, that's certainly handy. And
I'm simply walking out. There's something approaching. I will go see what it is.
I kind of motion for everyone to stay behind me.
Do you?
I mean, I do.
I'm
Yeah.
well behind her.
I have a flare gun with like I'm staying behind her. Like I
Okay,
don't have.
so the Marine advances. So as you round the corner, you see it's a little hard to tell, but crossing from right to left and just passing to the left beyond the corner, you see what looks like fabric or string, like towards the ground, moving out of your view. It's very difficult to tell because it happens so quickly. But you hear
this
that
movement is associated with the clicking.
it is definitely associated with the clicking, tapping.
I'm going to advance and
Okay.
see if I can get close enough to understand what's happening.
Okay, as
Just to
you
be clear, I am trying to be in line of sight here. I want to see what's going on.
yeah, you are both you both see kind of this. You see it a little less clearly than
Yeah.
she does, and she barely sees
Yeah.
it at all. The timing was off,
No, yeah,
basically.
perfect.
Yeah. So as you advance towards this, somewhat cautiously, but in a driven way, you see that there's a trail of tiny pink spots going back towards the right. And as you turn the corner to the left, are you the only one who does this, or are you following as well?
I would be following at a distance.
The same, actually. I'll probably try and keep pace with our scientists.
So you're
right
trying
now.
to back her up, but you're not trying to see around
I'm
the corner?
not so much backing her up as indulging my curiosity, but making sure she's first up.
Okay, so
So I'm nowhere near my fear limits. So like the Marine is like poking around the corner and like going forward, and I'm just like walking along behind the Marine.
okay.
Are you staying behind her though?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, only because she motioned.
Yeah, fair.
So we almost comedically see like four heads, your heads, still attached to your bodies.
Excellent.
For now.
For now, leaning out to look into the hallway, into this large circular hallway, this very, very uncomfortably brightly lit hallway. And you all see at the same time, please take 2 stress, as you see 2 mobile heads on what appear to be a tripod tentacle metal structure about a foot tall. They're basically 3-footed spider heads that are walking clockwise around the perimeter.
I am fascinated by this. Does this correspond to any research or things that either I'm aware of or that I might have personally dreamt up?
I cannot speak to your dreams. This has nothing to do with anything that you've worked on prior to or have seen hints of in any of the things that you've been assigned to.
Okay.
Yes, Sarah.
Question. Are these heads the heads of the bodies here? Are these like, do we recognize these heads?
Is it
or
Carlos?
are they not?
It is
Are
not
these
Carlos.
decapitated heads?
Are they decapitated human heads, or are they like completely alien looking?
From what you can see from the back, it is not Carlos. It is a different head that you can't really recognize from the back. One of them seems like it might be familiar, but you can't quite pin it down. But it could be
And
Tabby.
the heads are on little like thingies and walking down the hallway.
Yes, the heads are attached to a tripod leg structure.
What was the fabric?
The fabric, what you could see was what looked like yarn, which was hair dragging behind.
Oh, that's just
Do any of the heads
absolute
have just a really
worst.
winning smile?
You cannot see. They're going
my
away
face.
from you.
I don't like it, guys. Okay.
I kind of like it.
You unethical prick.
All right. I would. Do I see anything that they are heading towards, or are heading towards? Are they making their way towards a destination or an object, or are they just moving through the space?
They're moving clockwise, from best you can tell, leaving little pink drops as they go. But you
So
cannot.
headed towards residential currently?
They are not, so you can see the entrance to residential, and they're not aiming in that direction. They seem to be continuing past.
Farther.
So you're going past it. Okay.
Certain.
Yes,
Great.
they're heading in that direction. Never gonna
I'm going
stop.
to lean back in if there's a way to shut shut ourselves off from the hallway. I would like to do that for now.
You can.
I would like to shut us off from this hallway so we are enclosed in this room currently.
Yes, you can
so
engage
that we
the
can
emergency bulkhead.
safely have a conversation about what the fuck to do.
I'm sorry, did you say safely?
I mean, as we're in a, let me put it this way, there's not walking heads in here. There's just dead bodies.
You don't
And
know that.
there's an elevator. Yes, but I can certainly keep an eye on an elevator and shoot anything that comes out of it.
Yeah, so you can engage the emergency bulkhead.
I
and
would
you
like
do
to.
so.
Would that be reversible? That I like?
Absolutely.
Can I, okay.
Yes,
Great.
it won't be like a
I don't want to like
sharp-
perma lock us in here. But
Totally,
okay.
yeah.
Great. I'm going to shut that.
You cannot see through it.
That is fine.
Okay.
That is completely fine.
I'm good with that too, actually.
But
'cause
are
then they
the-
can't see us.
Are those not the missing heads?
We don't know if they are those missing heads, but they are certainly heads. Is that the elevator?
That's not the elevator. That is the bulkhead rising from the floor to meet the ceiling.
Oh,
Great.
Oh,
that
seals
is
from
that
the
is
bottom.
shutting. That
Yeah.
is shutting.
Sorry,
Okay,
yes.
great.
Good.
Awesome. Do I hear anything approaching as it is shutting?
No.
Cool. Okay. I'm good with that.
was
I
not
watch
convinced.
until it completely shuts. Assuming it does not for some reason.
It shuts as you expect it to.
Great.
Basic scientific analysis would tell us that these creatures are in many ways cybernetic and therefore probably still retain some modicum of consciousness or at least centralized control. Therefore, their limbs, those mechanical tripod legs, to move as they do, they seem to have some purpose and some destination. We can assume that they are either independently conscious or collectively conscious.
Tap, tap.
And here comes another one.
Bulkhead door
On
or
the bulkhead
elevator?
door.
Great. I'm not
Okay.
opening that.
All right. So
Haven't you ever felt that your body was
if
just a
they
burden?
are,
Scratch,
No, in
scratch,
fact, I have
scratch,
not, Doctor.
scratch.
Okay,
Thank you.
if they are, if they are
Research
It's so hard
lab,
to
research
talk.
lab, or am I opening this door and shooting it?
no, we're gonna go to the research lab. Is
think
there
we
a
should
possibility
retreat
that
for
we
now.
can?
Scratch.
Let us
scratch.
move
Okay,
on.
we'll
So
move away.
upset.
Grind.
It's
Like
not going
it's
to
trying to
stop.
cut
It has
through?
a purpose.
It does seem that way.
It has a
Oh,
purpose.
fuck me. It is trying to cut through this door.
Okay, so off we go. Maybe if we get to the research lab, we can find a computer that they're connected to.
Sounds delightful.
Okay, let's give that a shot. Shut those fuckers down.
I'm going to move towards the elevator, and as we call the elevator up or open the doors, I'm
So
going to
let me
gun drawn.
let me
be
let you
ready.
know how this proceeds.
Yeah,
So the
okay.
elevator you haven't seen yet. You've just gone right to the L. You've seen the end of that. You've seen that it's clear. So you go towards that direction. You take the right of the L, take the left of the L, and you see sort of a very miniature version of the Indiana Jones like stacks of crates at the end of the Lost Ark. So it's just about 40 feet of just stacks and stacks of crates. Oh, Binks,
I know you're having.
buddy, he's having.
He's just grumpy. He probably needs dinner.
He just wants to bite things.
Yep.
I understand.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Crates. Just crates all the way down. And you see it is extremely brightly lit. It is your eyes, Android, just kind of adjust naturally. So you have little less discomfort, but the humans here are definitely like squinting. It's unpleasant. And you see that the elevator is up and there's a crate on it ready to go down. And there are 4 more bodies here,
All decapitated.
all decapitated.
Do we recognize any of them?
You've seen them around.
Okay.
We can assume from
They're
the fact
teamsters for sure.
we can assume from the fact that these bodies and the cargo are left on the elevator that there's no one down there receiving said cargo.
I imagine at least nothing got down there.
Well, or perhaps something down there is causing the decapitation issue that we're seeing.
Yeah, no, it's not my inclination, but that's possible. Yeah.
Are you heading towards the elevator at this point, or are you stopping at this site?
I will head towards
I was
it.
going to continue going.
Yeah.
The
I'm
way
still,
behind us
like-
is not valid, so I would continue forward.
I'm trying to stay ahead of the group so that I can clear I keep doing it. It's so much punny. Okay. I'm basically trying to clear the area and make sure that it is quote unquote safe until we proceed or before we proceed.
I'll keep the crew behind her. Like, I don't imagine you guys are trying to get out of her.
As soon as it was
in
clear,
front of you.
Interest.
in front of me.
In front of you.
my.
You hear a scratch
Coming
in front of you.
from where?
Coming from behind a crate off in that direction before you reach the elevator.
Nope. All right, I just glance at Lana and
Scratch.
look at the gun.
I'm going to cautiously approach, weapon drawn.
So as you approach, you turn the corner behind to go past one of the crates, stepping over these decapitated bodies. And you see pinned underneath a fallen table that seems to be knocked over by a new body that you see, a fifth. You see Carlos's head trapped underneath this table with three metal tentacle limb type things protruding from the bottom of his neck, trying to gain purchase on this floor and unable to.
I am not going to say anything. I am simply going to shoot it.
I call from the back. What do you see?
Bang.
Bang.
Please remove an ammunition.
Ammunition.
Yes, you have successfully shot Carlos's head.
I hope you didn't kill it. There was a lot we could have learned from that.
I can learn from dissection.
I think we can still learn from dissection. I try, as awful as this is about to sound, I try to aim for the face that our captain might not recognize it.
Given the particular type of rifle, you'd
Splody?
have to shoot from the back to
Okay.
remove the front.
All right, then never mind.
Yeah.
I won't worry about it. It's
Yeah,
trying to be
it's,
like as
very kind of
nice
you.
in the most gruesome way possible. Yeah.
I
right.
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
All right, so you've shot something. It
Does
stops
it stop
moving.
moving?
Yes.
Okay. Great. Awesome. Well, we've just learned something right now. Gun goes pointed up, safely up, away from my crew. And I just go, well, we've just learned something right now. They can be stopped.
How did you stop it?
I shot it.
Sounded like gunfire.
Like, and well, yeah, but like, was it a particular place or just?
I mean, I shot it. It's
Are you
all
looking?
ahead.
oh, not yet.
I would suggest not looking, Captain. However, it is just ahead. So there's really only one place to
Just
shoot it.
Shoot it in the head. Okay.
Can
So
I
you-
examine it? Is it safe?
As safe as I could promise, given what we don't know anything. So it stops moving. Let's put it that way.
So you basically shot it
I-
effectively like right at the bridge of the nose.
I brained it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So-
kind of what I was looking for. Yeah. Is it a brain thing? Is it
Yeah.
okay.
So, yeah.
I would
Works
like
for
to
me.
approach with scientific curiosity.
Okay. How
This is a
long?
specimen.
What kind of?
Well,
what
I
are you
can-
trying to do?
I can
so
no longer determine
you see this.
whether or not it could speak or respond to verbal commands or anything of that sort. So instead, I'm going to resort more to a physiological examination to see these legs. How are they attached? If I can, I do not specifically possess a scalpel at the moment, but if anybody has a knife or a blade of some sort, that will be perfect. I will take your penknife. I am going to do some dissection and see how this is connected, probably to the brainstem or something of the spinal column. Figure
How
out what's
much
going on here.
time do you want to spend doing this?
5 minutes.
I am going to apply my expertise in jury rigging on top of cybernetics and zoology, and I'm going to do a really quick and dirty job to just understand the basics of this thing as in a fast manner.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me on cybernetics. Yes.
And while looking over his shoulder, like I'm also curious about what, just because I have a knowledge of computers in general, like how does the organic interface with these legs? Like I'm just curious, like How do the signals get sent to the
I will
robotic
tell you
legs?
as soon as I determine it.
If while you're doing stuff, if I notice something, I'll point it out.
You're
I'm
welcome
paying
to look over
attention
my shoulder.
outside the
I'm assisting.
elevator towards the door, making sure that whatever is cutting through the door right now does not make it here.
Okay.
I needed to roll under a 67. I rolled a 10.
Okay.
Nice.
Excellent. Now, something to note in Mothership is that the success-failure ratio is simply binary. Either you do or you don't. So the difference from, or the distance from the target doesn't mean that you fail harder or you succeed more. It's just you did or you didn't. The exception, of course, being when you roll doubles
Yeah.
and it's critical.
Or zeros and 99s.
Or zeros and 90s, which are also doubles, but are like super awesome doubles,
Yes.
narratively speaking. Generally, not always.
What do I learn?
You learn that in about 3 minutes, you can gather a fairly decent amount of information. This is definitely metallic in nature, like clearly metal. There's no plastic involved. There's a substructure. There's almost like a nodule that is attached to the spine itself. It's attached to one of the vertebra, and then has almost ingested nerves and capillaries and other things that connect things. Like this is all absolutely basic cybernetics.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is cybernetics that I understand, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
At a cursory examination, without, again, diagnosing all of the components and pieces here, would I assume that the brain is still controlling the rest of this?
You could make that assumption based on the information that you have.
Okay. I would like to proceed a little...
You hear some tearing of metal at this point.
Acceptable. I would like to, as quickly as possible, proceed a little bit farther and perhaps enlist... who's strong here? Is anyone
I
strong?
have a 38.
I would probably enlist our team. Oh, you don't want to see this head. Never mind. I'll do it myself.
I'm bulky but frail.
I would like to crack the skull. With,
2 heads appear around the corner.
I shoot them.
I'm going to crack the skull with any nearby heavy object to examine if there are any foreign objects in the brain matter.
Because I was watching specifically for movement
you
to
are
appear
absolutely
to fire.
doing this. So please make a combat check. And please make... What would that be? My goodness. Let me look at a character check. That'll be a strength.
That's what I figured. Can I use my reeking gun to crack it open? Does it?
I mean, you
I'm just gonna
could
crack it open.
give it +5 to your stat.
Oh
there.
no, that's terrible. 61.
61.
Yeah.
All right. How'd you do?
I rolled a 48 and my combat is 47.
Okay. So, how much ammunition do you have currently?
I had 3 mags that were 5 shots each.
Okay, and you had shot 2.
I had shot
One.
one.
One. You had shot 1. That's right. Yes. So you empty this particular mag, and one of the heads is absolutely obliterated. That was Tabby, by the way. Please make a sanity save.
Head of security.
Head of security.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's a failure.
So take 2 stress, 1 because you failed the combat save, and 1 from this one. And the other head, who is someone you...
Said 2 stress.
2 stress, yeah. And the other head is somebody you do not recognize, but it's coming at you.
I'm going to attempt to shoot it.
Okay, so we are now in combat, but go ahead.
I was just going to yell. If I hear gunfire, I would instinctively yell back, "Try talking to it."
Okay, if I hear that, I mean, I would have heard that after I
So
fired
basically
all my
the
shots.
order of events is this, like
Yeah.
you fire your shots, bang, 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 you you slam it with your rigging gun, but are distracted by the fact that there is gunfire and basically like clip part of the skull.
Oh, yeah. It's not pretty.
It's not good at all. It's very unpleasant. What's up with you?
I was gonna say, actually, can I try to message into corporate with on my PDA at all to like send out an SOS? Or that
At what
something's
point do
going on?
you attempt to do this?
I was hoping while he's looking at the head before the
Before
gunfire
the gunfire?
starts.
While he's
Yeah.
sciencing.
Once the gunfire started, I'm not trying to do stuff on my PDA. So
Gotcha. Okay, so I'll cover that in just a moment.
okay.
And you?
Basically assisting the scientist any way I can, since that's where I am at the moment. If I could even pry off one of the legs just to examine it further, maybe take it with us. It might be a weapon, who knows?
I like
Okay.
it. I like it a lot. I'm freaked by it, but I like it.
So during your co-investigation of this, the legs appear to be attached to this sort of central nodule, which is essentially fused to one of the vertebrae. They are tentacular in nature, so they're very flexible. Tentacular.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, and they end in not like a point, but definitely like a semi-sharply rounded nub at the end of each of these. You have been attempting in the PDA, and it doesn't even seem to be connecting to the internal network.
Oh, geez.
Like,
Okay.
you've done the turn it off and turn it back on. No, okay, let me re-put in the password, let me disconnect and reconnect. And it is just doesn't want to at
Okay.
all.
Okay.
And gunshots.
Okay, gunshots happen. Initially, doctor screams, try talking to it.
At that point, it is now its turn because you've
Great.
had your successful attempt. And at this point, we're going to roll
Well, I've had
combat.
my unsuccessful attempt.
Well, it's a semi-successful attempt. You murdered your boss.
Nice.
Well, one of your bosses. So everybody at this point who is going to be engaging in combat, which is probably all of you, please make a speed check. I don't know why I'm rolling. I don't need to roll.
001.
Wow.
Hot damn. So success?
Yeah, success.
No.
Failure.
My speed was.
Failure.
Failure.
Okay. So the way that combat in Mothership works is...
I rolled under my speed. That's success. Yeah.
That is...
Yeah.
Excuse me, hiccup.
It matters if you roll doubles, but other than that, it's
Right.
just above or under. Or above.
So if you are successful in your speed check during combat initiative roll, you act first, and then the enemy goes, and then those who failed their combat checks go. So you had effectively a surprise round, but you failed in your combat check, so you don't get a second round. But you still took out one of the heads, and now the other head is very, very rapidly approaching you. So I'm going to roll for it, and
This is the story of how I die.
To a rounded,
hope not.
sharpened nub.
rounded, sharpened nub.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
So
Get out, Ross.
So the creature whom you do not recognize, fortunately perhaps, it leaps at you, grabbing onto your suit with its teeth and scratching at your body. However, your armor is very good. So you simply have this whipping tentacular head creature attached to your form as you're, I don't know, maybe screaming, maybe trying to knock it off. It's almost your turn. So while that's happening, what are you two doing?
So upset by this.
At a glance, looking over my shoulder at what's happening, do I recognize the face attached to?
It is a researcher. This is Caden Leonard. You're not really that close. You're like, oh yeah, that guy. Oh yeah, we had coffee once. It's a head.
I am. Question, although I'm probably not going to do it immediately. The rigging gun. Mm-hmm. Can I reload it, or is it a one shot and it's done kind of deal?
It can be reloaded, but boy, it's a bitch to
Yeah,
get
not
all that
like during
coils.
combat, but like
Yeah, it'd take you a few
I
minutes
get
to
like
sort of
one shot per combat here.
Yeah, effectively, if you think of it like a climbing rope.
Yeah, it's a grappling hook gun. Yeah, I get it. I am going to look back and in my most authoritative scientific voice go, Dr. Leonard, I command you to stop this instant, and I want to observe its reaction.
While he is doing that, anything for you?
If you've stopped poking at the one in front of us, right?
Yeah.
And how far are we from the Marine and
About
the other
20
head?
feet.
How far?
Oh, actually, wait. I'm no sorry. So that's coming around the corner. So you're about 40 feet away from this mess.
And how far can one move and around? Or
So at this point, that's a great question. So the way that Mothership distance works, you'll note that we have no pawns upon the grid. Those of you who are joining in, we don't even show the grid because it's irrelevant. There are 4 distances. There is close, nearby, far away, and out of range. So close is what our Marine currently is to the head.
Just so upset. So upset about this.
Nearby.
Face hugger.
So that's if you can reach.
It's a face hugger. Damn well it is.
If you can
Alright.
reach out and touch someone,
No, don't no.
then you're close.
No.
If you're
No.
nearby, you're
Phrasing is uncomfortable. I have a head with tentacles on me. Like, it's not okay. Nothing about this is okay.
if you can't quite reach somebody, but you could definitely shoot them probably without incurring too much difficulty, then they are nearby. If they are far away, then you could still shoot them with most ranged weapons. Certain ranged weapons will have disadvantage, like shotguns, which are supposed to be done from nearby, or close even for fun. Then that is what far away is. What out of range is, like, your smart rifle can probably deal with out of range things if you have a clear line of sight, but that's about the only thing that could.
Okay.
Or a massive spray from a heavy machine gun.
Are you okay, Sarah?
And then how far
I am
can
stressed.
several points stressed? How far can one move in
One can move effectively one range of distance.
Okay.
So you can move from far away where you currently are to nearby, but you couldn't
Move to close.
Right, unless you wanted to spend your entire action and have no further action.
Right. Yeah. So, well, my intent, and I
Sure,
suppose
yeah.
was simply, since the leg won't come off this thing, I'd simply just grab the entire leg and run at the Marine and try and like swing it like a.
The
say, a
leg is
flail.
currently attached to the head?
I-
No,
is
that's what
is
he's
that the
saying.
plan?
Yeah.
Okay, I just
And-
want to
and
make sure that I'm really certain that you're taking a decapitated shot through the head on 3 legs and using the tentacles that's attached to it to beat another head with
I'm
tentacles.
going to encourage this and go, yes, excellent way to crack the skull casing.
Okay,
Nope.
so you could
nope.
you
Nope.
can grab the
Nope.
you can grab the head and you can move towards it, but I'm going to say that's about all you can do because it is still kind of trapped.
I'm coming.
I am coming to assist you.
Mind you,
Hold
wearing
still, Lana.
a smiley face fucking mask
That's cracked.
that's cracked,
This is,
running at me, holding this fucking severed head attached to cybernetic tentacle legs like a goddamned mace.
you could say the situation is coming to a head.
Just,
Why have I done
that goes
this?
on the pun
Two
board,
heads are coming
and I'm
together.
angry about it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh God!
I'm here for it.
No, I just no.
All of this is this.
All
I
of this
shouldn't
is
have
no.
done this. And
I've like taken my hair clip out now. It's like I'm going full crazy.
All right, so you have taken your turn doing your thing. You have shot and missed and are now beset upon by a head that is attempting to chew through your very effective body armor. Well done. I'm glad that you rolled that. You're welcome. And now it is your turn and your turn.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the fucking head off of me.
Okay, how do you intend to do that?
Does it have hair? Long hair?
Yeah, it has medium length hair. It's not
Enough
like
that
crew
one could get a hold of, or
Yes,
no?
absolutely.
Run your fingers through that luxurious.
Oh, I hate you so much. I'm going to just summon all of my like disassociation possible and grab it by the hair and try to rip it off of me.
Okay, I
need to be
would
more
say that would be
dissociated
that would be a military training or athletics.
I have both.
Well,
so
let's
that's
just roll
fine.
your. Would this be a speed or a strength? Are you trying to get the hell off of you?
I'm trying to get it the hell off of me.
That would be a speed then. Speed plus 10.
Well, I rolled an 8.
That's fantastic.
Nice.
Well done.
Good.
All right, so you grab Dr. Leonard's severed head, and you.
And I'm just holding it out in
Oh.
hopes that it can't reach me. If it can reach me, I'm going to throw it.
So it definitely has tentacles.
Cool.
That are longer
They
than
can
your
go
arm.
like up and around it and reach me.
Absolutely, yes.
Awesome. That's
Yeah, just think like you're
awful.
holding an octopus, but with a solid brain stem.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to I guess I'm going to chuck it on the ground. I know it can cut through doors, so I don't want those tentacles near me at all. I'm going to throw it on the ground, and if I can, just like pop.
You could do one of those things. You could
Okay.
move away after removing
Then
it
I'm
from
going
you.
to throw it and move back.
Okay, so you chuck it against a wall.
Yeah.
Dr. Leonard does not. Dr. Leonard appears to be rather engaged at this particular
Like,
moment.
I didn't detect any eye movement, like understanding recognition when I addressed him by name.
You didn't notice any kind of response. It was also trying to attack somebody that shot it. So you can't quite tell, was there no response or was there an inability to respond based on its
Understood.
attention.
Good enough.
Yeah.
I learned something.
This is upsetting.
So head go thwack. Go ahead and roll a d5, please.
It goes to whack.
That's a 3.
That's a 3. Awesome. You have done it some damage. And it is still here. So,
Of course it is.
so it goes thwack against the wall. There's a nice pink splotch there, and then it just thwomp and rights itself immediately in fantastic tentacular fashion. What you up to?
Are the walls also porous?
Some of them maybe. Most of
find
them
that
are
also
metallic.
an
This
upsetting
pink
question.
splotch stays though.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
this
why I'm
particular one
upset
does.
by that
Just
question.
checking.
Well, I was rather far back, I think. So I'm going to try to get to the Marine the best. I have nothing really to help. Like, I have 2 flares. I'm going to go.
A flare ain't gonna help us right now.
I know. I could shoot it with the flare, but like, it feels wasteful.
You also don't have to take an action. If there's nothing that you feel that you can do to help necessarily, you can also just get out of the way. If you would like to try to find an object that you could pick up to use
Oh,
as
that would be
a...
nice. Yeah, I'd like to look around and see if there's something I can use as a weapon that isn't another head.
So
Picky about it.
there's a table leg curiously just laying on the floor.
Excellent. I am just going to pick that up. It's not useful in my current situation, but if something comes close, maybe I can use it.
That is absolutely an opportunity that you could have in the future.
I really would like to not have that opportunity in the future, but I am prepared if I do.
Are you trying to advance your position towards
I
the
think I am.
head?
I am. I'm going to move closer to back up my Marine. I am not going to get in her way.
Okay, so you
But,
two
like-
have so the android and the captain teamster have now approached to nearby.
Yes,
You are still, actually you are now nearby. So all 3 of you are in that
Yeah, 'cause
nearby
I chucked it
proximity.
and
You
backed
chucked
out.
it against the Okay, cool. I love it. And
I hate it.
and now we are back to you two. We're just going to continue the initiative.
Well, I no longer have my test subject, and my first experiment has seemingly yielded whatever results it's going to.
Wah wah.
So,
If it doesn't matter what order you go in, why don't I go first? Might give you something to work with.
Yeah, so one way that Mothership battle can happen is you can also say everybody who's before the enemy can collaborate in their turns as opposed to it is your turn and now it is your turn.
I don't think it will change what I do, but I'm going to basically use all of my turn to move because I want to move from my current position to see the bulkhead that this thing clawed through. And see...
That's going to be way far away.
Okay,
So right now you're behind 2 L corners and...
Oh, 2 L corners.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, you're basically at the back of the wing where the elevator
Well,
is.
I would still like to try to move towards a position where I can see if anything else is coming around these corners.
You could move in that direction. You could basically position yourself in that second L bend. You're going to be skirting the fight.
Yes, that's actually exactly what I want to do. I want to skirt the fight and make sure that there's no further danger approaching.
Okay, cool. And what are you up to? Smackety time? Okay, what are you hitting it with?
With the other one.
Oh, that's right. Yes, your head mace.
It's just so it's so truly upsetting.
I think we may have briefly slipped into Morkborg here.
Yeah, right.
I could get us a femur real quick.
If
Right?
there's a focus, the idea is to use the metallic bits of it because I figure that's maybe the only thing that can damage the other metallic bits.
The metallic bits are
I'll-
currently the parts that you're hanging on to.
Yeah, and like so I'm holding the tentacle and there's a large disc where the other tentacles are connected, right?
Oh, it's
the head is also
embedded into the spinal column. So it's like
Okay.
it's basically the vertebra has been fused with this metallic nodule.
You could hold it by the hair and do the same thing.
I mean, it is going to be most effective if you grab it by the tentacles and whip it with the with the skull.
There you go.
Yeah. So why don't you roll a combat check for me?
Great. So
Yeah.
Whip
how does
it.
that work when I have
Whip
no
it
combat?
good.
When you have low combat.
No, none at all. Oh, combat.
Oh, so you.
Going like
I don't have
full,
any skills
like,
to
So
add,
this would
but,
be
Mauritius
speed or strength,
position
whichever is higher.
here.
Speed.
Speed?
I was definitely rushing
You're
to get
okay.
over there.
Yeah.
fine.
Go ahead. Roll
You're
a speed
fine.
check.
Fine.
It's all good.
But there's
that'd be,
cybernetic heads trying to kill me. I don't like it. What? That's a 99.
Thank you.
Oh no.
I just wanted confirmation.
You had to do that,
that's a
really?
I can't. That's what
Because
I'm trying
there's
to.
an underscore here.
There's no
The
underscore in either.
but the
of
number the number comes before the zero, so it's the number
it
then
was,
zero.
So it was this. That's a 6 then. That's a
Okay.
69.
69.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
So
I really want to see the 99.
an experience.
All right. Well, I'm afraid that you have.
That exceeds my combat roll, just in case you're curious.
Oh, yes. Oh, I'm quite sure of that. So you have pulped both skulls.
Okay.
Yes. Unfortunately, you. Sarah, would
So
you
you're just gonna show me like a horrifying visage of like a bloody a bloody masked like fucking android with a cracked smiley face mask? Like really? Is this what I'm looking at right now?
so
Bashing two
Effectively
skulls
done.
together.
So
Thank you.
Lana and Kiara, as you see Pi jet past you, holding a severed head, you
my
suddenly
friend.
recognize that's
Yeah.
Carlos.
Oh,
Wait,
God.
what? And you, meanwhile, are running towards the combat. No, I'm gonna take a left, and you see Dr. Ambrose just zip around the corner, and then Pi leaps towards this third head and begins just wailing upon it with Carlos's head over and over and over. And you hear wrenching metal and squishing and cracking until suddenly Pi, after 6 or 7 swings, has decided it's probably stopped moving.
Please, somebody draw this and send it to us.
Really?
We will have our content. I'm a
Smiley
huge.
robot- Yo, yeah.
I'm a
which
huge
point-
horror fan. Are you kidding? I would print that as a poster and put it on my wall.
At which
Okay.
point,
We'll put our contact information in the in the description.
If you want to give us license, we will make it available.
Yeah, we will make that merch.
Pi holding this very still skull and a red explosion on the wall slowly turns to you, absolutely spattered in gore,
Are you
with
okay?
with a cracked smiley face, horror mask,
Eerie
and
mask.
gives you a thumbs up.
I want it on a T-shirt.
Yes.
And on that note, we're going to take a break.
That's horrifying. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Oh, good times.